evening, Nakuru, and welcome to the Nakuru TV Weekly News Roundup this Sunday, 25th May 2025. My name is Patrick Kenyo Prince, and this is the news. In a significant move for sustainable agriculture, the Kenyan government has banned 50 harmful pesticide products. The Pyrethrum Processing Company of Kenya, or PPCK, is applauding this decision, saying it paves way for safer, eco-friendly alternatives. The ban announced on 24th May 2025 is a major step toward protecting both farmers and the environment. PPCK highlights the opportunity to boost the pyrethrum industry, known for its natural, less harmful pest control solutions. Stakeholders are urging increased support for PPCK to enhance production and promote sustainable farming practices across Nakuru County and beyond. This move is expected to drive innovation in the agricultural sector, ensuring safer food production and a healthier ecosystem.
PPCK has come up with a business plan that will enable Kenya to regain its former position, such that we can be able to establish an acreage of up to 70,000 acres to produce upwards of 20,000 metric tons to meet the demand of the world. Currently, we are not producing as per the potential, and we are actually less than 10%. And the PPCK is ready to support the safer pesticides for use in the country, as there is a program to ban the dangerous chemicals that are imported into this country. So we have an alternative for safer pesticides, and this will enable us to achieve that target if we get the support that is required to upscale our production.
On Saturday, May 24th, 2025, the Rotary Club of Hurlingham, Nairobi brought vital healthcare to Kikope Dispensary in Gilgil, Nakuru County through a free medical camp. In partnership with Bloom Hospital, the camp served a community of over 1,000 people, addressing chronic issues like diabetes, eyes and skin conditions, and TB. Rotary Club President Al-Bashir Ahmed emphasized the club's ongoing commitment to community service since 2005, with plans to collaborate with Nakuru County to establish a laboratory at the dispensary. Rotarian Saum Siraj and the Ministry of Health Officer Samuel Kemani highlighted the need for partnerships to tackle prevalent health challenges and elevate the facility to a level 3 hospital. The camp also raised awareness about the Social Health Authority, addressing gaps in public understandings of Kenya's health insurance system. Beneficiaries like Lucy Katimo and Joyce Nyambura praised the free services, calling for more frequent camps to support locals that are facing economic hardships.
Ni Joyce Nyambura, nimetoka upande wa Diatomite. Nilikuwa nimekuja leo asubuhi, nilisikia jana kuko na huduma. Sasa niliposikia nikasema nitajifikisha hapa ili
Good evening, Nakuru, and welcome to the Nakuru TV Weekly News Roundup this Sunday, 25th May 2025. My name is Patrick Kenyo Prince, and this is the news. In a significant move for sustainable agriculture, the Kenyan government has banned 50 harmful pesticide products. The Pyrethrum Processing Company of Kenya, or PPCK, is applauding this decision, saying it paves way for safer, eco-friendly alternatives. The ban announced on 24th May 2025 is a major step toward protecting both farmers and the environment. PPCK highlights the opportunity to boost the pyrethrum industry, known for its natural, less harmful pest control solutions. Stakeholders are urging increased support for PPCK to enhance production and promote sustainable farming practices across Nakuru County and beyond. This move is expected to drive innovation in the agricultural sector, ensuring safer food production and a healthier ecosystem.
PPCK has come up with a business plan that will enable Kenya to regain its former position, such that we can be able to establish an acreage of up to 70,000 acres to produce upwards of 20,000 metric tons to meet the demand of the world. Currently, we are not producing as per the potential, and we are actually less than 10%. And PPCK is ready to support the safer pesticides for use in the country, as there is a program to ban the dangerous chemicals that are imported into this country. So we have an alternative for safer pesticides, and this will enable us to achieve that target if we get the support that is required to upscale our production.
On Saturday, May 24th, 2025, the Rotary Club of Hurlingham, Nairobi brought vital healthcare to Kikope Dispensary in Gilgil, Nakuru County through a free medical camp. In partnership with Bloom Hospital, the camp served a community of over 1,000 people addressing chronic issues like diabetes, eyes and skin conditions, and TB. Rotary Club President Al-Bashir Ahmed emphasized the club's ongoing commitment to community service since 2005, with plans to collaborate with Nakuru County to establish a laboratory at the dispensary. Rotarian Saum Siraj and the Ministry of Health Officer Samuel Kemani highlighted the need for partnerships to tackle prevalent health challenges and elevate the facility to a level 3 hospital. The camp also raised awareness about the Social Health Authority, addressing gaps in public understandings of Kenya's health insurance system. Beneficiaries like Lucy Katimo and Joyce Nyambura praised the free services, calling for more frequent camps to support locals that are facing economic hardships.
Ni Joyce Nyambura, nimetoka upande wa NGYT. Nilikuwa nimekuja leo asubuhi, nilisikia jana kuko na huduma. Sasa niliposikia nikasema nitajifikisha hapa ili niweze kuhudumiwa. Na vile nilifika hapa niliweza kuhudumiwa vizuri sana. Madaktari wenye wako hapa wanahudumia watu vizuri sana. Juu walikuja na wakanishughulikia, na sasa wameshaniangalia na wameshanipa dawa. Dispensary yenye hata tukishikwa na magonjwa huwa tunakuja tu hapa. Hii ndio dispensary yenye iko karibu na sisi. Maybe kama ugonjwa wako umezidi, hapo ndipo unaendanga town. Niko tofauti juu vile mara mingi ukikuja hapa unapatanga sometimes hakuna dawa zenye ulikuwa unataka, unatumwa uende ukanunue kwa chemist. Lakini leo mtu hanunui, unapewa for free.
So my name is Al-Bashir Ahmed. I'm currently serving as the president of the Rotary Club of Hurlingham in Nairobi. We are here today in our effort to support this particular facility for an outreach program, which is an annual medical camp that we do here every year. So the several services we are providing includes checkups, general checkup. We have eye checkup, we have dentists, we have general checkups as well. We have cancer screening and prostate cancer screening as well, nutritionists. So we are offering a lot of services for the general community. We started engaging with this community a while back in 2005, and we've continued that relationship. We are hoping to improve this facility as we go by. So today is just one of the many activities that we do here. So far it's been a very successful day, and we are happy to have participated in providing healthcare to this community.
So the most prevalent diseases here usually they have a lot of eye issues because of the nature of the environment, a lot of skin ailments, and then of course the normal non-communicable diseases. We've had a lot of cases of diabetes, BP, which as they walk in, we are testing and we can see that they really need the service. Most of them are going for further counseling when it comes to nutrition. And even most importantly, we've incorporated mental health awareness, which as for those of you who are listening just now, you can see they appreciate it, and there is need to actually grow that aspect of mental health awareness beyond just doing HIV, AIDS awareness, and of course TB is also prevalent here.
Coming from quite far, and we are very happy that through the support we are receiving from Lottery to our Kikope dispensary, today we have been able to reach out quite a big population. We are happy that they have been able to be supported, especially those living with chronic diseases, specifically hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, and lung diseases like asthma and other chronic diseases. Other things are like cervical cancer screening. We have screened quite a big number of our mothers. We are not yet done because the dates still are not over, and still they are coming. Remember, this is a place that people go to do farming. So some went to the farms in the morning, but we are here to wait for them even to the evening so that we can serve each and every one of them.
The Nakuru County Dairy Platform, NACODA, is gearing up for a major event to transform the dairy sector. Their 2025 Dairy Conference and Exhibition set for September aims to boost milk production and sustainability in Nakuru County. NACODA unites stakeholders from farmers to processors, fostering collaboration to enhance dairy productivity. Last year, Milk Day exhibition in Keringate trained 2,660 farmers with over 30 exhibitors. This year, the platform targets 3,000 farmers and 300 delegates to discuss innovations, climate-smart practices, and challenges like fodder establishments and regulations. NACODA's vision is to make milk Nakuru's top income generator and employer, with partnerships from national programs and stakeholders. They are calling for support to drive trade and consumption of safe, nutritious dairy products. On Thursday, 22nd May in Nakuru, Harambee Sacco brought together over 300 members for its chairman's breakfast, celebrating its Millionaires Club and charting the future of the cooperative. The event, held in Nakuru, saw top officials and the Nakuru County Director of Cooperatives, who was the chief guest. Discussions focused on the Sacco's growth, boosting savings, a new insurance agency scheme, and an exciting partnership with Kenya coach industries. Harambee Sacco continues to empower its members, aiming to expand its Billionaires Club and drive financial success for Nakuru's community.
Today, we are honoring our top savers. Later on, we want to dine with our senior citizens who have continued to patronize our services at Harambee Sacco. More so, tunasema asante kwa wale wote wameweka akiba ya milioni na zaidi.
Exciting news from Jubilee Academy in Ronda Ward, Nakuru Town West, where 2 brand new classrooms were launched on Wednesday, 21st May 2025, thanks to African Adventures Foundation. Reverend Alex Minor, director of the African Adventures Foundation, officiated the opening of the state-of-the-art classrooms in a heart-warming ceremony. The foundation, dedicated to transforming lives through education, donated these facilities to ensure children from vulnerable families have access to quality learning. Jubilee Academy is one of many schools benefiting from their mission to empower young minds for a brighter future.
I'm the director of African Adventures Foundation, and here we are at Jubilee Academy, a school that is working to help the people in this Rhoda community. It's a free school. They offer free education to children from the vulnerable families. And today we are here because we have, as African Adventures Foundation, together with our partners, whom some of them are here today with us, we have been able to give them a donation of 2 classrooms. Actually, there have been about 4 classrooms, but today we are launching the last 2 classrooms that are very new. We're giving them 2 classrooms today, a set of uniforms, desks and chairs, so that they can be able to offer their free help in a better way, so that every child in our community can have a better place, a better environment for them to achieve their goals through education. Basically, that's the reason why we are here. We're just encouraging even other people in our community who are able to do something, and they can also intervene in some of these schools or even families, and they can come and give a donation so that we can all collectively make our communities better.
In Nakuru County, a conflict is growing between officials of the county government of Nakuru and operators of the Nakuru 7's Matatu, sparking outrage among local drivers and community. The new 7-seater Matatus are a vital source of income for many young drivers in Nakuru, with over 15 vehicles ferrying 5,000 people on a daily basis. Operators accuse a senior political advisor in the governor's office of prioritizing personal business interests over the livelihoods of over 15 families, with drivers saying they face relentless harassment from county askaris, with 4 recently charged in court on what they claimed to be trumped up charges despite compliance efforts and dialogue with county officials. In contrast, similar vans operate peacefully in Naivasha, Nairobi, and Nyahururu. Residents warn that resistance to this initiative mirrors past failures like Telcom's downfall, and vows that the 7-seater Matatu community, representing dreams and resilience, will not back down.
Samuel Githanga is a member kwa hii group inaitwa 7S. 7S ni matatu vans ambazo zinabeba hii route ya Mawanga mile 6. So basically where we are here today ni kwa sababu tumepata frustration from our county government, and to be specific, from a political advisor, a senior political advisor in the office of the governor by the name Josh. Josh has been frustrating us for the past 4 months. Tumekaa chini na wao, tumeenda kwa ofisi ya mheshimiwa Kuria the CEC Trade, tumekaa chini na Nyanaro, tumekaa chini na chairman Muli. When we thought tumepata light at the end of the tunnel, yesterday the said political advisor in the office of the governor by the name Josh again decided to use the police force to frustrate us young entrepreneurs in this county. As you can see behind me, fellow colleagues ambao tunafanya nao hii kazi, most of them, actually like 80% of them, wako na magari, na nyingi zao hao wakiwa kama young entrepreneurs ni gari zinalipa malon. Hawa watu ni watu ambao wanalipa kwa county government parking fees. Wanalipa what do you call it, ile revenue unalipa kwa county government. These people every day in the morning tunabeba between 3,000 to 5,000 residents kutoka Mawanga, kutoka area mile 6.
The countdown is on for the Nakuru County Trade Expo 2025, set to take place in just 4 days at the Rift Valley Sports Club. From May 29th to 31st, Nakuru City will host the Nakuru Trade Expo 2025 that is organized by TJ Premier Events in conjunction with BizLink Marketing. The organizers are expecting over 6,000 attendees and 150 exhibitors showcasing innovations in health, tech, agriculture, education, and more. With free entry for visitors, the expo offers a vibrant platform for networking, product launches, and connecting with distributors. Organizers promise deals, discovery, and dynamic opportunities to boost business visibility in Nakuru's thriving economic hub. Mark your calendars for May 29th to 31st, as this promises to be a must-attend event for entrepreneurs and innovators in Nakuru County.
In terms of the exhibitors, we are expecting about 150 exhibitors from several sectors, the way I mentioned earlier, with about 6,000 people running through our gates for the 3 days. So on the first day, we are doing the official opening. The exhibition's running from 7 a.m. in the morning to about 6. We have invited the county leadership, that is Her Excellency the Governor, to officially open this exhibition on 29th. The county government of Nakuru has really supported the businesses, and for a business to thrive, we must have policies, good policies that will support businesses, good policies that will attract businesses. So from our own small research is that businesses are doing very well in this particular region, and just recently there is what the county government is working on in terms of supporting the businesses through a fund. So there is very good support from the county government.
Nakuru County hosted a significant gathering as the Nakuru Christian Leaders Platform and African Evangelistic Enterprise Kenya came together for the Nakuru County Leaders Prayers Breakfast. The breakfast, held at a local hotel in Nakuru on Tuesday, 20th May, brought together clergy, political leaders, including representation by Governor Susan Keheka, and community members for a morning of reflection and prayer. Organized to foster unity and spiritual guidance, the breakfast focused on addressing county challenges through faith and collaboration. The event underscores the ongoing efforts of the Nakuru Christian Leaders Platform and Africa Evangelistic Enterprises Kenya to engage leaders in a meaningful dialogue for community development. Tensions are rising within the Orange Democratic Movement in Nakuru County as internal wrangles spark heated confrontations among party leaders. In Nakuru's Kaptembo ward, party adherents have accused ODM's local leadership of undermining grassroots supports and fueling friction within the party. This follows broader ODM divisions with leaders split over the party's cooperation with President William Ruto's government. In February, a Kakamega event exposed these cracks as ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna clashed with those backing broad-based government alliance. Nakuru's ODM branch, once told by postponed primaries way back in 2022 due to fears of violence, continues to grapple with internal challenges. Nakuru West MP Samuel Arama has joined residents in publicly condemning the destruction of a billboard belonging to Bondeni Water Company and CJX UK Bikes, calling out the act as shameful vandalism. The billboard, located at the KFA roundabout, was reportedly destroyed by goons, sparking outrage from residents. In a statement, the MP criticized the reckless act, emphasizing the need to protect local businesses and their visibility. The incident has drawn attention on social media platforms, with community members echoing the MP's call for accountability. This follows other reported tensions in Nakuru's business and political landscape, raising questions about the motive behind the vandalism.
Kaniambia ndio nimekuja kuangalia nikakuta nyinyi hapa. Mara ya kwanza nataka kusema ya kwamba watu ya Kenya hawana authority ya kuja kung'oa billboard kama hii, kwa sababu billboard haiko kwa mpaka ya Kenya. Ilikuwa ni makosa na mimi nataka kufuatilia, na mimi nataka county commander na polisi wao wakamata hii watu walikuja kung'oa hii billboard usiku. Kutoka hapa mimi nataka kwenda kwa county commander nimweleze, nimwambie achukue hatua. Hiyo ndio imetuleta hapa mara ya kwanza.
A wave of fear is gripping Nakuru City following the brutal murder of two businessmen, raising alarm about a resurgence of criminal gangs. According to a report from Nation Africa, the killings occurred in Nakuru East and Bahati sub-counties just days apart, sparking concerns among residents and authorities. The victims, both traders, have highlighted the growing threat of gang violence in the city. Community leaders are calling for urgent actions to address these escalating issues as fear mounts over public safety and the impact on local businesses. Authorities have yet to release further details, but the incidents have reignited demands for stronger security measures in Nakuru County. In Nakuru, teachers took to the streets to raise awareness about mental health, highlighting the importance of well-being in the education sector. Organized by the Kenya Women Teachers Association, the Mental Health Awareness Walk in Nakuru was part of a series of events across Kenya to mark Mental Health Awareness Month. The initiative aimed to support teachers' mental well-being and raise funds for a modern wellness facility. With participation from educators and community members, the walk underscored the need for mental health resources, especially for teachers facing increasing workplace pressures. Similar events were held in Kiambu, Kisumu, Machakos, and Migori, culminating in a national charity walk in Nairobi.
Teachers are committing suicide because of stress and depression, and we find that we have to raise our voices through such events so that the Kenyans can know that teachers are desperately in need of assistance from all corners, from all angles. Let us fundraise, let us make sure that we can set up centers like the one we are just about to do here in Nakuru, jointly with other counties like Kerisho, Kajiado, Wasinigishu, like
A major milestone in Nakuru County as the Nakuru Modern Market, a 5-story facility, is now complete and awaiting official commissioning, promising to boost local trade. Announced by Dr. Raymond Omolo on May 25, 2025, the Nakuru Modern Market aligns with President William Ruto's bottom-up economic transformation agenda, targeting support for micro, small and medium enterprises, which employ 85% of Kenya's workforce. The market features a wholesale trade on the basement and ground floor, retail on the first and second floors, and a third floor with the daycare, ICT hub, dispensary, and 79 trading stalls. With over 8,000 informal businesses in Nakuru, this facility aims to modernize trade. However, reactions on the X platform reveals mixed sentiments from Nakuru residents, with some praising the development while others criticize its modern label, pointing to incomplete sidewalks, poor logistics access, and security concerns, especially when compared to advanced markets in other jurisdictions. A disturbing incident in Nakuru County has left the community in shock as human rights activist Doris Achieng was abducted outside her home. Doris Achieng, a vocal feminist and advocate against gender-based violence, was kidnapped 3 days ago on May 22, 2025. She was found unconscious, bruised and traumatized, and is now recovering in a local hospital. Fellow activists, including Martin Lunalo from the Reproductive Health Champions Organization, suggest her abduction may be linked to her outspoken advocacy, particularly after recent comments at a gender-based violence task force meeting in Nakuru. The incident has sparked fears over the safety of activists in the region, with calls for justice growing louder. In sports news, Nakuru Bucks FC has suspended their team manager, Victor Amoka, following a controversial protest that stirred tensions in the FKF Division 1 League. On Sunday, Nakuru Bucks confirmed the suspension of Victor Amoka after he filed a protest with the FKF League and Competitions Committee without the club's knowledge. The protest challenged the eligibility of a Gucha Stars FC player, leading to Gucha Stars being docked 3 points. This penalty dashed Gucha Stars' hope of promotion to the National Super League, as reported by the Kenya News Agency. The incident has sparked debate over internal management and ethics in Kenyan football, with Nakuru's Buck FC distancing themselves from Amwoka's action. We've got an exciting event on the horizon for music lovers. JK Music is set to host the East African Golden Grooves at the ASK Showground Arena on Saturday, 31st May. Here is what you need to know. The event kicks off with gates opening at 11 a.m., followed by a Zumba session led by Mike Matata and DJ Sammy on the decks from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Live music will keep the party going until 6 p.m. Food and drinks will be in plenty from accredited vendors. The event is supported by, among other partners, CarePoint Dental, Coca-Cola Beverages, Medina Water, County Government of Nakuru, and Nakuru TV. It's shaping up to be a day of music, dance, and community celebrations. Mark your calendars for May 31st at the ASK Showground Arena. Tickets are priced at 800 shillings for early birds, 1,000 shillings for adults. That's it for the Nakuru TV Weekly News Roundup. Be sure to catch us next week, same place, same time. From all of us at Nakuru TV, we wish you a happy new week. See you next week.
Audio Jungle.
Nakuru, are you ready for something big, something bold, something buzzing with opportunity? BizLink Arts Digital and TJ Premier Events in partnership with Nakuru County proudly present the Nakuru Trade Expo 2025, happening from 29th to 31st May at the iconic Rift Valley Sports Club. This is more than just an expo. It is a celebration of innovation, culture, and community. From agribusiness to tech, fashion to finance, this is where Kenya's boldest brands come to connect, showcase, and shine. And the best part, it is absolutely free for attendees. No get fees, no nothing. So bring your products, your people, and your passion. Let the cameras roll and the deals flow. This is your time. Plus, for our amazing exhibitors, we are rolling out the red carpet at our exclusive gala dinner. Great food, laughter, networking, and maybe a dance move or two. Or three. We're not judging. Sports are feeling fast, so be quick to book. Nakuru Trade Expo 2025, powered by TJ Premier Event Limited and BizLink Arts Digital. See you there.
That was the Nakuru TV Weekly News Roundup that we do each and every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. So, Nakuru TV Weekly News Roundup is a collection of stories that we gathered mostly from Nakuru County or from other counties that have an impact on Nakuru County as well. And so we are just doing a rerun for today's show to just give you a feel of what is really happening, and for you to also see what is happening in Nakuru. Asante sana, my name is Patrick Kenya Prince. This is Nakuru Tusemezane. Nakuru Tusemezane is a show that we host each and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And basically the show is about creating a platform for Nakuru people, creating a platform for Nakuru leaders, creating a platform for anyone who has an opinion about anything. You just come and have a conversation about issues that are happening in Nakuru. And so today we are happy to host one such person by the name John. I think we will go to a small commercial break and we'll be back. Two. Sorry for that hiccup. Kidogo, we had issue with sound. My producer ananiambia my audio was not loud. Tuko sawa? Asante sana. So as I was trying to explain, Nakuru Tusemezane every Thursday, starting at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Basically, Nakuru Tusemezane is a platform for Nakuru people to just come, talk, sit, discuss issues affecting Nakuru residents, issues affecting the people. It could be a political issue, it could be a social issue. We just create a platform for people to just have conversation about our town. And so we do that every Thursday here on Nakuru TV. We are live across all social media platforms. We are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube. We're also live, I think, on Instagram, on TikTok. And asante sana for all of you guys who have joined in. Naona comments zimejaa pale kwa Facebook. And I was just introducing our guest for today. And our guest for today is one such person ambaye amekuwa ni a resident of this town for quite a while. Na more or less like a walking encyclopedia. And so Mr. John Githanga, karibu sana to Nakuru TV. I will introduce him, but I will give you an opportunity to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
So Mr. Githanga is a veteran of Nakuru town. He was born and bred in this town, went to school here in the early 60s, and he has a very rich perspective about very many issues that he has seen throughout his life. He's a thinker, he's a fine artist, he's a creative basically, he's a historian and a man of letters. He's the chairman of a group called NGYT CLAN, which I will give him an opportunity to also talk about. And he has passion for psychology and music. So today he'll be sharing captivating stories of his life growing up and the roles of, community and schools and social amenities in Nakuru, and also just juxtaposing that history with where we are here in the year 2025. So without further ado, karibu sana Bwana John Githanga. Perhaps you can start by introducing yourself.
Yeah, as you have heard, my name is John Githanga. I was born and bred in this town. Yes. Back in the days we used to call golden era. By golden era, in fact, we refer to the golden era during the good old days, vis-a-vis today. That was back in the maybe late 50s, 1960s, post-independence era, 1970s, 1980s, and a little bit of 1990s. So I hailed from Kivumbini number 1 estate. Kivumbini number 1 is one of the most prominent estates in the downtown Nakuru. Not to mention estates such as Bondeni, estates such as Lumumba, estates such as Shauriako, Kimathi, Flamingo. Those were our hoods back in the day. And those hoods used to belong to the defunct Municipal Council of Nakuru. We used to call it MCN. And that's where I was brought up. And I went to Flamingo Primary School when I was a bit young. In fact, I skipped nursery school. There was a nursery school that was known as Bondeni Nursery School. And it was famously referred to as Maziwa. Maziwa, if you talk about Maziwa to those Nakuru old-towners, old-timers, they know where Maziwa is and what the experience they had before they went to primary school. So I went to Flamingo Primary School. That was back in 1967. That is when I started Standard 1, during the era of a certain headmaster that was known as Raphael Okumu, rest in peace. And then it was taken over by another headmaster when I was about, I think, 33, 34. That was back in 1969-70. That was known as Mr. Peter Moregi. Peter Moregi was actually iconic. He's actually the one who shaped that school. I'm talking about in terms of discipline. Discipline in this case was not about verbal discipline. It was actually viboko, war. You know what I mean by war. So we actually dread the school, but may God rest his soul in peace, because he actually made us who we are today. Yeah.
Before we go deeper, this was just an introduction. Naona there are so many people who are watching us. I can see all the comments.
Yeah.
I want, for the people who are watching us on YouTube, I want you to drop your comments. Basically, what we really want to do is to relive some of those moments.
Yeah.
And also now look at where we are as a county.
Yes.
That we're a county. I know you started as a small town.
Yeah.
We went to a municipality.
Yeah.
We became a city.
Yes.
Now we are a city within a county, which is a totally new dispensation.
All right.
So for everyone who is watching us, maybe today we want to relive our moments. I want you to, on the comment section, to write probably the estate that you grew up. If you grew up in Nakuru, we'll be tackling some of those issues, the way unasema about life, your former headmaster, just, pay homage to those people.
Right.
Their contribution to the town and what it came to be cannot be gainsaid.
Right.
Everyone remembers with fondness.
Right.
Especially teachers, the leaders that were there.
During the time, yeah.
I have seen a comment by Veronica, and my microphone is not audible. Could we go maybe for a break and two. Just one. Hata sitaki kuiguza. We apologize for technical hitches with my microphone. I think we are now audible. Are we back on? Asante sana, Mr. Producer. Thank you so much, Johi Kruger, for bringing my attention to the fact that my mic was not audible. Veronica Dongo, asante sana. I don't want to go to the comment section right now. What I want us to do is we relive our moments, and we'll be sharing some ideas. And today, right?
Yes.
And thank you so much for everyone that is watching us through that platform. Karibu sana. Asante, Veronica. I've seen umeandika, we are hearing you loud and clear. So I think we can still proceed with the conversation. Samahani sana for that technical hitch. So before we went to that small break, we were talking about the role of those people who were in positions of authority at the time. And so we had teachers who were really revered also in the community. We had, people in leadership positions, pastors at the time. We will tackle that also. But basically, what I really want us to do is to look at the growth of this town. Imagine where we were when you're growing up, and partly the reason we felt it was important to have you on. This is something that we are really interested in. Some of us tunaitwa Gen Zs. We have Gen Zs, but I'm not a Gen Z myself. Kuna millennials as well, who probably don't really understand the history, their history basically, and the history of where we've come from. And so we felt it would be important to just have someone to also help, bring up conversations about where we were, because once you understand our history, it's easier to now even imagine where we are going. So I will go right from, I mean, you've done the introduction, asante sana, but you are to talk about NGYT. Tell us why you came up with this platform, how it started, and how it has grown. Yeah.
NGYT actually is an idea that I mooted back in 2016. 2016, I was in a certain place whereby, okay, I didn't have a lot of things to do like I normally do in town. I was at a place known as Mangwa, in the outskirts of Nakuru. So I had a lot of time to browse and all that. And I could, I just wanted to reconnect with my old friends. I had that yearning to reconnect with my old friends, especially those I was with in primary school and secondary school. That was Menengai High School. And I could not, okay, I was a Facebook user for many years. In fact, I started using Facebook in 2009. So, but I was just getting one person at a time, catching one person at a time, or reconnecting with one person at a time. So I decided in 2017, I went to Nairobi, and then I started thinking, how can I be able to reunite and reconnect at least most of my friends I was with back in the golden era. And that is when I came up with Nakuru Golden Years and Today. Although it took me some time, it took me about 2 months to come up with that. But immediately I started it in, that was precisely on January 22nd, 2017. That is when it kicked off. And I gave it that name, Nakuru Golden Years and Today. The golden years, of course, we are talking about the good old days, so to speak. And today, because I knew in future, we cannot talk about the history, or we cannot go down memory lane without actually talking what is actually happening currently. Yes. So there are quite a number of people who, when they saw Nakuru Golden Years, they could be able to relate that particular platform with Nakuru. Yes. So I started actually getting a few members here and there, 100, 200. Some of them are people who left Nakuru very many years ago. I'm talking about others left Nakuru in around 40 years ago. People like people I was with in Menengai High School, like Richard Ouma. He left Nakuru in 1979, 1980 there, went to America. There are people like Nancy Ngodo, the Chief Ngodo's family. Yes. They are all my buddies, Kina Sami Ngodo, Jimmy Ngodo, Andrew Ngodo, yes. Morgan Ngodo. So they started coming up. Stella Wangoi, I was with her in Menengai. So they started coming. When they saw this platform, they started coming. So we actually started increasing in leaps and bounds. And I realized that it's like people are waiting for this kind of thing to happen, because it was almost impossible for you to connect or to reconnect with your old friends. So people came, we increased 1,000, 2,000. In fact, when we reached about 1,000, it was a milestone to me that time. We went on like that throughout the years. And right now, we have hit a milestone of a whopping 78,000 members. And interestingly is that we have so many members who hailed from Nakuru or who hail from Nakuru who are in the diaspora. Like in the United States, we have about 8,000 members. I'm talking about those who were born and bred in Nakuru, but migrated to the US, yes, for various reasons. And in Europe, we have about 2,700 members, and especially Britain, and a number of them in Germany, like Mesha Komaya. Mesha Komaya is our Minister for Foreign Affairs. He's based in Frankfurt, but right now he's in Miami, Florida.
In the US.
Yeah, in the US. So that is how I started with this thing. And this time around, it has actually become so vibrant, something that I had not foreseen when I initially incepted the group.
Because I've been a member of that group, I think, from 2017. And sometimes, as a person, I am wowed by mostly seeing how people are relating on the group, very respectfully.
Yeah.
And people have like a shared history.
Yes.
It's like Nakuru at some point was a very small village
Yeah.
where everyone knew anyone.
Yeah.
And so based on where you went to school, you
Yeah.
probably knew the people who went to school in that particular
Absolutely,
school.
absolutely.
And I've been following up that story, which is really fascinating.
Yeah.
This is something, it's more like a community.
Yeah.
And we did get such an opportunity also. The rest of us who now came,
Yeah.
you know, we call Nakuru home, we were born and bred here.
Yeah.
But we didn't find such structures existing that provided for people to really be, you know,
Cohesive.
in
Cohesive.
that cohesive nature.
Yeah.
That you probably knew someone, you knew their mom, their family.
All right.
And you're able to now still know those people up to
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Which is more 40 almost to 50 years.
Yes.
So it's really fascinating for the younger generation. And because growing up in your time, you mentioned 60s, around 70s, it means at some point you will have to also pass on the baton to the younger generation.
Right.
So where do we also find ourselves in that whole mix? That's why we felt it would be important to simply have this conversation and talk about how it was. And right now I want you to now take us back to the 60s. Growing up, you've mentioned Kivumbini #1.
Yeah.
These were, I think, the premier estates back in the day that were run by the Municipal Council of Nakuru. There was Mathiwa, there was Kivumbini, and even not even just the estates. We had Bondeni, Flamingo, Kivumbini, but more so the schools, because the schools for the young ones were where people went and met, socialized, and formed those very initial friendships. How was it for you?
Actually, it's quite nostalgic, even to imagine how things were. I would say that, and most Nakuru old-timers will agree with me, that that era will never come back. Because, you see, we were so cohesive in that, like when I was living at Kivumbini #1, we were so cohesive in that we were like brothers and sisters. And our parents were, all our parents were our parents. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
In that a parent of a neighbor, we regarded them as your parents. So there was that absolute respect for parents or for elderly people. And there was that kind of interaction, you know, community interaction, whereby your neighbor could actually belong to a different tribe, but that was not our concern. We were our brother's keeper, as it were. So during that time, you could intermingle with the Luo boys and girls, Kalenjin.
And I think it didn't really matter.
It did matter. And that's why you find that Nakuru is quite unique. Because you see, even the accent of a Nakurian, you will realize that this person is a Nakurian. Most of us hardly ever spoke indigenous languages, or rather vernacular languages, up to this day. You'll find that if you go to places like Kiambu, maybe Nyanza province and all that, you'll find people kind of being fond of talking in their mother tongue. But here, you find the people are actually fond of talking in Kiswahili, mostly, predominantly. So what I'm saying is we were so cohesive. We loved one another. There was that kind of love, care for one another. And as I've said, we were our brother's keeper everywhere. Our parents were also responsible for us. Not only responsible because you are their child, but even outside the estate precinct, they could punish you outside if they found you doing something wrong outside the estate. So they were that responsible. So it is actually quite nostalgic, and that is one of the reasons that made me to start up this group, so that we can actually relive our memory and we can interact again.
Okay, that's a very good context to put it out there.
Yeah.
And sometimes looking back, you realize that things are also changing.
Yeah.
We will never get back to where we were.
Yeah.
But also looking at those particular estates that you've mentioned, where you called home.
Yeah.
If you look at the current situation now, an estate like Bondeni, and I'm sorry to say this, has been like the den of crime lately.
Yes. Yeah,
we have organized gangs that are operating and terrorizing Nakuru residents.
Talk
And
of
this was something-
confirm
exactly.
the notorious.
Yes. And so part of that nostalgia that you have about particular estates that you grew up in is also being eroded, because
Yes.
once you have issues around insecurity and organized gangs, then people will actually move. So those people who called Nakuru home sometimes feel, because they are older, they belong to a generation that cannot also tolerate how the town has grown. So you realize people are now move. And I'm not saying the ones that have gone to all these other countries who are members of NGYT, but those natives who called Nakuru home, the formative people who became part of the history that is intertwined with Nakuru.
Yes.
So I think before we actually proceed, I will want to also read the comment. I see lots and lots of people who have joined us today. I think you have a lot of fans.
Yes.
We have Karanja Nicodemus. Asante sana for tuning in to Nakuru TV to enjoy our conversation as we chill and talk about our past. We're basically trying to relive, you know, the good old days, the golden days, you call them.
Golden era.
The golden era. And it's sad that probably we will never see that.
Yeah.
And at some point in our future, for those of us who are here now, the current, you know, this time that we are living now will become like a golden era in the future. So asante sana, Karanja Nicodemus. I see you. Naona umeandika you're watching from Diani, South Coast, Kona ya Musa. Maybe this one is also a native of Nakuru. You will let us know, Karanja. Asante sana for tuning in. We have Danny Mash, anasema watching from Karagita, Naivasha sub-county. Asante sana for tuning in. Are you a native of Nakuru, Danny Mash? You're welcome to tell us pale kwa comment section. Wajohi Kruger, amesema kazi nzuri. Asante sana Wajohi for tuning in.
That is my buddy.
Good. We have Veronica Dongo anasema ndani with John Githanga. Wanjohi Kruger pia amerudia pale akasema NGYT CLAN Chair. John Githanga, proud to be associated. Asante sana for all your comments. Naona Grace Mwaneki anasema I'm watching from London. Gina, asante sana for tuning in, watching from Racecourse. Today's topic, we are just reliving the golden era, the good times, the good old days. Now we are happy that we have you as a guest here to just help us also connect the Nakuru we know now and that Nakuru of the past. So we've spoken about the schools. You've mentioned a few, especially the estates. Now I want us to talk about the schools. I'm sure even the schools at the time were also municipal. They were run by the municipal council.
Sure.
Could you tell us where you went to school, how many schools you had, how schooling was back in those days?
Okay. As I told you earlier, I went to Flamingo Primary School. That was during the era of Mr. Raphael Okumu, and who was succeeded by Peter Moregi. We used to call him Danger. He was nicknamed that because of, you know what? He was actually, you know, he used to flog us actually. He used to flog us. And, but he was a very good science and nature study teacher. Those days we used to do an exam that was known as CPE, Certificate of Primary Education. And there were only 3 subjects. There was general paper, English, and mathematics, with the maximum of 100 points or 100 marks. So this general paper, maybe you might want to know because that is an interesting part. It used to comprise of science, that is science and nature study, geography and history, that was general paper. English was English, just English, grammar and composition, and mathematics was just mathematics. So each subject, the highest you could score is 12 points. So if you did, of course, and we used to do that that exam in one day, maybe starting in the morning and then later in the afternoon we are done. So you score 12 points. If you scored 12 points, that was what you used to call A standing.
So it was a point-based system.
That was the system. The old system was 7-3, 7-4, 7-4, 7-4-3, 7-4-3 before 8-4-4 came. 8-4-4 was introduced, I think, in 1984. So that is how it was. So going back to what I was talking about, that was the system, CPE. There was Flamingo Primary. That is where I was. But prior, you know, Flamingo School was not actually new per se, although it started in 1965. But there were other schools that had started, that had been founded earlier. I'm talking about the first known municipal council of Nakuru school, that was Bondeni Primary. Through my research, I found out that it was started in 1948. So we're talking about 1948, Bondeni Primary. That time it was known as DEB Bondeni. You may want to know what DEB means. Yes. That was District Education Board. During the colonial era, they had designated schools for Africans, and which could not those schools could not be able to be integrated in the British system. So they were actually designated for Africans. So
this is around the same time before we got independence?
Yeah, 1948. I'm talking about 1948. Yeah, DEB.
So they had to have like special schools for Africans?
For Africans, Asians, and Europeans. So there is Bondeni, and then we had St. Paul's, the one you wrote. St. Paul's was partly a missionary school. That's why every time you see Saint something,
it has a religious
connection.
Attachment, yes.
Yeah. And there is St. Teresa's Primary. You go to St. Mary's Primary, that was a girls' school, a very respected school those days. St. Saviour's, St. Joseph's. I'm talking about now the old schools. We had schools such as Langalanga, Kisulisuli. Those are among the oldest schools we have in Nakuru. But Bondeni, of course, is the oldest. 1948. And then when it comes to secondary schools, as I've said about, the government schools were Menengai High School, a very respected school where I went to between from 1975 going forward. We had Nakuru Day. We have so many members of our group went to these schools. Menengai, I'm talking about Gashiro Karano, I'm talking about Alfred Mbodi, I'm talking about
Alfred Mbodi, now that you've mentioned, was my teacher in a school that I went to at some point. Didn't teach me directly, but I knew him. He was a member of staff at that school.
Okay, which school is this?
It's called Tumaini House.
Okay.
Tumaini House it's in Nakuru Town West.
Oh.
That's where I went to school. But this is now...
We are talking about those areas of Baruta?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Immediately it was taken by the government. Alfred was a teacher. And I see he really contributes on the group.
Yeah,
sometimes he's very good when it comes to writing.
Yeah.
Yourself as well.
Yeah.
And so my other challenge, not even a challenge, my only concern is you have a lot of history about our town, about some of these places. We have estates like London Estate, we have Geoto, we have very peculiar and funny estate names, apart from those ones like Akina Bondeni.
Yeah.
Do you perhaps have a history of why some estates were named the way they are named up to date? A place like Pondamali, a place like... We have very many places that sometimes, hoods. Yes, hoods. You have names of hoods, and sometimes we don't have that history. And sadly for us, people didn't also, we didn't document our history, which is very sad.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm happy to have a group like NGYT. And sometimes without your realization, you're also sharing that which you know. You're also sharing a part of your life with this new generation that perhaps they also don't know. But it's important to have these things in writing. So I've really tried to research, because having been born and brought up in this town, I have a lot of, willingness and the desire to also learn some of these things. But if you look at all the records that are available, even at the archives in Nakuru, sometimes they really don't mention the actual historical, facts, why this happened, when it happened.
Yeah.
Not all that information is captured. But for a person like you, I'm sure you have also been around enough to know some of these things. So for instance, let's talk about the estates. You've talked about the schools, and we've understood how at the time education was really important. It was a totally different system from what we have now.
Yes.
And the role of teachers at that time, when you're saying about how you were parented by anyone. So if you were caught misbehaving, it didn't matter if this person knew you. There was a good chance they knew your parent, but they could punish you without any further reference to, which is something that will be very strange in our time.
Of course.
Yeah. So let's talk about the estates a bit. Having been here for all that time, could you maybe shed light on how the estates came to be, why they got the names they got?
Yes. Just to finish very quickly, I was talking about these three prominent schools, Menengai, Nakuru Day, and there was Nakuru High School. So Menengai was actually meant for Asian community, for the Asian community. That's why when I went to school there in 1970s, you'd find about 1/3 of the class was comprised of Indian students. That was during the era of Mr. Turner, a British teacher. Then we go to Nakuru Day. Nakuru Day was actually, basically, it was, you could hardly find Asians or Europeans, but you could find people of Seychellois community, people from Seychelles. They were quite a number. Washeli. So there was, I think, the first headmistress was known as Mrs. Horse or something, and then Mr. Williamson. I used to be told about Mr. Williamson. So that was basically an African school, predominantly. So you could, Nakuru High, there was, I think, Mr. Penn. Mr. Penn was the headmaster there. So the majority of the students who are in Nakuru High were of British descent. So coming back to the estates, like when I did my research, where did Kivumbini come from? That is where I've been brought up. Why? Why the name? So through my research, I was told back in the day, I'm talking about the pre-independence days, there used to be a certain foreman when the estates were being built. And because he used to supervise so many laborers, the African laborers, when they were building the houses. Sasa huyo Muhindi, because he was a nation, I think, Akalasika or something, alikuwa anasema sitaki kuona hata vumbi kidogo imemwagika hapa. That is simiti. You know, anawaambia nikiona simiti imemwagika hapa, sitaki, yani vumbi. Sitaki kuona hata tone ya vumbi imemwagika. So I was reliably told that is how the name came up. Sasa wale laborers wakaanza kusema unaenda Kivumbini. Kivumbini.
Okay.
So kakuya hivyo. Then we have Shauri Yako. Shauri Yako was built much later after Kivumbini estate. By the way, Kivumbini is actually a group, a cluster of estates, because there is Kivumbini number 1, number 2, number 3, which is referred to as police line, or it was actually meant for the police. It was a police
residential
quarters of that particular day, of those days. And then there is Kivumbini number 4. Kivumbini number 4 is what is officially known as Baharini. Yeah, so that is Kivumbini. And then Shauri Yako estate. Okay, how did it come out? Okay, sometime back I inquired and was told, okay, Shauri Yako ilikuwa hivi. Because most of the people or the workers of that time were working with the Municipal Council of Nakuru. And there used to be a law to show me his, he liked me a lot. He used to show me his...
You are the favorite son.
Yeah, the last sports son. Okay. So he used to show me his pay slip. It was 124 shillings.
Which was a lot, I think, at the time.
Not so much as such, but you see, the value of the shilling that time was actually considerable.
Is this the time when if you had a shilling, you could get mkate and soda?
Yeah.
Was it around the same time?
I'm talking about the days when we used to use kulikuwa na hela. Unajua hela? Hela ilikuwa, unaona hela ilikuwa ni coin kalikuwa na shimo katikati. Inakaa kama bronze kadogo. Sasa hiyo hela ni hela 5 ndio 5 cent.
Also this is like
so 5 cent, it is still money that you could buy something with, especially as a kid.
So wait, the hela was like 1 cent.
It was 1 cent actually. Okay. It was actually. So it was 1 cent. So that hela, 10 of them would make 1 cent. I mean 10 cent rather. So 10 cent, unaona kabla ingie shilingi, ukiwa na nini na 10 cent, shilingi moja ilikuwa ina comprise gapi? 100 cent. 101 cents.
This is ndururu now.
Ndururu. Hapana ndururu hela. Iko ndururu. Ndururu ndio ilikuwa 5 cents.
So we had
hela ndio ilikuwa the least currency.
So 5 cents meant you had 10 cents, you had 10 cents.
Yes.
And then there was a 5 cent which was ndururu.
Ndururu, okay. And ilikuwa 10 cents tu.
Okay.
Sasa unaona ukiwa na shilingi, you could actually celebrate a whole week as a kid. You could buy things. You could even spoil the neighbor's kids with things.
This is very interesting because even just imagining that we had a denomination lower than a shilling.
Yeah.
Most people, and I'm sure for the ones that are watching, this is also like very strange talks. Of course, we've heard of hela because at some point money was called hela, I think still. But we heard of ndururu. Some of us found those, but the one with the kashimo pale katikati, that one I've never seen. I'd really want to see that.
It's actually they're there. There are some people who actually
collect those.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people, please let us know. This is Nakuru Tusemezane. We are going to take a small break. Asante sana for everyone who's joining in. Asante sana for your comments. Asante sana for your engagements. We are just slowly trying to talk about our past as Nakuru. We are talking about our history. We are trying to relive the golden years and also juxtaposing that with what we have currently. Today in the studio we have Mr. John Githanga, a person who I consider to be a walking encyclopedia. And I think one of the viewers is agreeing with me. And Anauliza, has he written a book? He's such an insightful person, and I totally agree. We're going to take a small break, and we will be right back.
I kinda like you.
Thank you and welcome back to all our viewers. Asante sana. We were on a short commercial break. Asante sana to CM Babas. CM Babas are today's sponsors for today's show. They are located at Masters Plaza, ground floor. I will tell you the room number as we proceed. So we are just talking with Mr. John Githanga, a veteran of Nakuru town who was born and bred in this particular town in the early 60s. And he brings to us his rich perspective as a thinker, a fine artist, historian, and he calls himself a man of letters. He's going to explain what that means. He's also the chairman of the NGYT CLAN, where we are also live on Facebook. This is a community of Nakuru home people, basically, spread out across the world. Thank you to everyone out there. You're doing amazing things. Now, it is good to have a platform where we can also talk about where we've come from, and also a place to call home. Because in your busy endeavors in those different countries, you still call Kenya home, you still call Nakuru home, and you have a particular interest. And growing that page to 70, you mentioned 78,000?
Yeah,
78,000. That's such, it's no mean feat.
Yes.
And so we've spoken about growing up, Nakuru's estates, how they came up to be, the peculiar naming system. Naona mtu ananiambia that Shauri Yako as an estate name sounds so dismissive. I think I agree with that. Inakaa ni kama Shauri Yako. And I think that was the point.
That was what I was going to talk about. So when Shauri Yako was built, that is after the other ones, Kivumbini and whatever. Shauri Yako, at that time, it appeared like an upmarket estate. That is because it was kind of...
it was an improvement from what was available at the time. Yeah,
because Kivumbini, we had a communal block that had bathrooms and...
that were shared.
That were shared.
Zilikuwa zinawekwa pale kwa kona ya plot.
Katikati ya mablocks. Unakuwa na block ya pande moja ni choo hivyo na mfereji pale. Unachota maji pale.
Okay.
Lakini this time around, when Shauri Yako was built, it had, let's say, it looked special. It was still it was still a single room, and others had maybe one bedroom, a few. But you see, the special part is that you shared the toilet and the tap water, or the two of you.
Yes.
While the other estates, they had quite a number of blocks.
Okay.
Because
so now
one
I've
block,
understood.
Block moja ilikuwa na nyumba 8.
Okay.
Sasa hiyo nyumba 8 zikiwa na kitu kama say block 4